New skills, new you. I'm excited. Another workshop Wednesday. Oh, here we go. You got to record it. Got to record the content. So listen. Sales support is a weekly training, live Q&A, live workshop for sales leaders, entrepreneurs like you, individual contributors that are looking to go to the next level in career, business owners that are looking to scale, anyone that's being traumatized by sales, right? There's someone that says, and I don't even like sales. I don't even like selling. I'm going to wait for people to call me in my business. My favorite one is work off of referral. Maybe that's you. And you don't know what's holding you back from the next level in your life or business. One of the biggest things I see, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not psychic. One of the things I see most often is a fear of sales. So over the next, let's call it 15, 20 minutes, I make sales simple. It doesn't take an hour to get here. We're going to go over how to get past that fear of sales, how to be excited about selling. So if you're on Instagram, I encourage you to head over to YouTube. It's New Skills, New You, because we're sharing the screen live. What's up, AJ? What's up? So this is Workshop Wednesday. And what's today's date? 23rd, I think. 23rd of August. Always got to make sure you date it. Let me increase the font over here. The first things first, let's start with a definition of sales. My short version is sales is service. And this is a really simple and subtle shift, maybe not so subtle, because I don't feel bad about serving people. Now, someone inevitably says, oh, well, Bruce, if you want to serve people, why are you charging? We'll get to that. But the first thing first, if you're taking notes, write this down. Sales is service. So that's number one. I think a lot of times we watch salesmen on TV and they pressure and harass and connive and trick people into making a purchase. And that may work short term, but they're not getting repeat customers. They're not getting referrals. It's not a great way to grow your business. In fact, arguably, it's a terrible way to grow your business. If people leave with less than they came in, you didn't sell them anything, you stole from them. When we treat sales as a service, our value is greater than our cost. So that's the next thing I want you to make a note of. Value should always exceed the cost. Now, what I don't mean is, let's say you have a candle business, candles cost $5 a unit. I don't want you to sell them for $4 a unit at a loss. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, whether it's personalized instructions, whether it's that education to the client, you want to add more value than you're charging. And this is where service-based businesses thrive working with our firm, because they start to see that the reason people pay isn't the price. The reason people pay is the problem. Okay, let's write that down. People pay for the problem. Very few people say, oh, hey, that's $1. I'm going to buy it. Well, what is it? Oh, I don't know. It's just $1. I'm going to spend $1. Most people say, hey, that's something I wanted, and the price to me is less than the value to me. So this brings me number two. So number one, sales is a service. Number two, the reason that people are afraid of sales is actually not selling itself, it's rejection. That's number two. It's rejection. So first, we're going to look at sales as a service. And then the second is going to be rejection. Yes, AJ, he pointed it out. People pay to get rid of the problem. That's alliteration. Thank you, sir. So let's go ahead and put that. That's one in the sides. People pay to get rid of the problem. It's good. Thank you, sir. You're going in the documents. So when we talk about rejection, a lot of people feel personally attacked and feel personally offended, and it even attacks your self-worth. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they said no. And they start having a lot of negative self-talk. There's two things. That help you overcome rejection that are going to help you overcome your fear of sales. First is they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the solution. And that actually supports number two. Number two is, are you talking to someone with a problem? A lot of people, and that's where they get mad, like, oh, my mom doesn't support me, my cousins don't support me. Well, I teach sales strategy to service-based businesses. I make sales simple. My cousin doesn't have a business. My mom doesn't have a business. They might pay me because they like me. Probably not as much as I charge. But they don't have a problem I solve. So I can't be mad at them offering them solution to a problem they don't have. And this is where people start to feel like sales is pushy, it is selfish. That's selfish of me to try to solve a problem they don't have. So to avoid, I can't, let me say this very carefully. I can't promise you everyone's going to tell you yes. But I can confidently say more people will tell you yes if you find people with problems. They'll be much more happy to hear you out because you're talking about something that's important to them. Like I just said earlier, right? They're going to pay to get rid of the problem, and they'll be happy to pay you as long as you offer a solution to their problem, not the solution you want, not the solution that's so fantastic in your mind. Oh, I've got certifications. I've been doing this for years. That's 4 or 5 down on the list. First things first is, are you talking to the right person? So here's a little exercise you can do for your business or your entrepreneur. Or if you could be a corporate climber, who is the right person for you? Who is the right person for your business? Once you answer that question, it becomes much, much easier to talk to them. And the fear of sales is starting to go away. Okay. So are we talking to the right person? And then are we solving problems first? Are we problem first, problem focused? So what do we say? Sales is service. That's the first thing. Sales is a good thing. We're offering more value than they pay us in cost. And to reduce rejection and increase our yeses, we're going to talk to people that have the problem we solve. So let's say a perfect example. We went on a road trip. We went to Baltimore, Maryland to visit my best friend, his mom and his grandma. And our buddy came with us. His name is McCray. We call him the Chancellor. It's a long story. So we're on this road trip. We go and we surprise them. Hey, so they cook us breakfast the next day. They're so excited we're there. They cooked us breakfast. And this was another lifetime. But she had bacon. She had sausage. Man, she made us omelets. And it was amazing. Hash browns, fruit juice. Well, the Chancellor didn't want to eat any bacon. She's like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I don't want any bacon. She was like, well, have some sausage. We'll make you some sausage and biscuit sandwiches. He's like, I don't want any sausage. And she got mad. She was really annoyed. She's like, I cooked all this breakfast. I woke up and cooked all this food. Why aren't you eating the food? Well, come to find out, the Chancellor is literally, not figuratively, allergic to pork. He will die if he eats pork. So this is the problem you run into in sales, is you're talking to someone who doesn't have the right problem. So your solution is irrelevant. Her food was delicious. I don't eat pork anymore. The food is delicious. She's an amazing cook. But that didn't matter to the Chancellor because the other option was him ending up in the hospital and possibly leaving us permanently. There's no salesperson in the world that could have convinced him ethically, in an ethical way, to eat that breakfast. And so some of you all take it personally. You're like, oh man, I don't like my breakfast. I must be a terrible cook. I'm a terrible person. But it's not personal. It's not about you. You're a great person. You're cooking, your product, your service, your business is probably amazing. You just have to talk to the right people. So let's go back to that scenario. She was like, Bruce, do you want some more bacon? Heck yeah, I do. Put him a bacon waffle sandwich. I had sausage and biscuits. Man, I was full. Look, it was 10 a.m. I needed a nap. Hey, good. Why was that an easy sell for her? Was she some kind of killer closer, master manipulator? No, she was talking to the right audience. I was hungry. And that time in my life, I ate everything. As long as it wasn't moving, I'm dreaming now. Let's go. And so sales becomes a lot more fun because we're talking to people that have been waiting for us to tell them, to say hi. Shout out to House Rich Dave. Man, he helps you educate you through the whole buying process so that you get the best deal, the most house for the least money. A great guy. He's going to help you with your credit. Shout out if you're in the Texas market, shout out to House Rich Dave. And he is really good to work with because if you're not looking for a house to buy or sell, right, he's not going to convince you to buy a house. He's going to say, hey, who do you know that wants to buy a house? He's going to go find the right person. It's by the way, when you're ready to buy or sell, give me a call. That's how he does. Because Dave focuses sales as a service. He goes and finds people that need and want to work with him. That's what you have to do to grow your business. Now, eventually, we'll talk about ad strategies and attracting clients and setting up referrals. But right now, all you need to do is find some people that have the problem you solve. They're more likely to say yes. And you don't feel bad if they tell you no, because they're not telling you no personally. They're telling the solution no. All right. That's where we can start to overcome our fear of selling. All right. Here's number three. No one likes this one. Carla said it earlier. I don't know if he's still on here. Shout out to Blue Gopher app, your construction delivery service. And I've had the pleasure of speaking at some of their annual corporate events too. Great guy. And he said it. He said, you got to get those reps in. And the number three, to overcome your fear of selling, is practice. I know. You're like, oh, I thought it was going to be some mind-blowing, earth-shattering revelation. It's not. It's practice. You're going to go back and you're going to say, hey, sales is a service. I'm here to help people. I feel bad if I don't help them because I know if they work with me, if they get my products, their life is going to be better. I feel obligated to at least give you the chance to tell me yes. It's my privilege and responsibility to give you an opportunity to work with me because I look at it as a service and I know the value is always going to be higher than the cost. I'm not afraid of rejection because I recognize there's somebody who's going to tell me no. I got to find them because behind that person is the person that's going to tell me yes. And they're not telling me no. And they're not even telling me yes. They are telling the solution no or the solution yes. So if they tell me no, hey, let them keep their problems. No problem. No, nothing personal. But if they tell me yes, that's my privilege and that's my chance to serve. And the third is practice. What happens is, listen, I was doing some math. I've made over 10,000 in-person sales calls. Like, we call them sales calls, but they're face-to-face, right? Knocking on doors, sitting down, shaking hands, right? Toe-to-toe, belly-to-belly, the country folks say. I've made over 250,000 phone calls. So what I'm teaching you is something I've tested over and over and over again. And I want to let you know I was terrible when I started. I was worse than terrible. But practice helped me to get better. Now, I don't want you to have to do 10,000 meetings to get to where you want to go. I'm going to teach you how to set up automation, set up your sales system higher. If you have a service-based business, you're looking to grow your revenue, tap in, go brucehill.online, not .com, schedule a solution call. And you can borrow my practice. You can leverage my experience. But what happens over all those calls, I never had a heart attack. It might have felt like it the first few. It might have felt like shit, but I didn't have a heart attack. No one punched me in the face. Nothing life-changing happened. I didn't end up in the hospital because of sales. But that practice helped me realize that my job isn't to convince them, it's to give them an opportunity to work with me. And the practice makes that easier and easier and easier. Practice creates confidence is a whole nother training. Practice makes it permanent, right? You get good at doing it right. You got to practice well because otherwise you'll get good at doing it wrong. And you'll get to a point where it becomes part of your day-to-day process to offer people a chance to serve. And you will look back and be like, wow, I can't believe I was ever afraid of the word sales. All right, let's keep it short and sweet. Let's keep it simple. My name is Bruce Hill of New Skills New You. We make sales simple for service-based businesses, tech startups, speakers, coaches, and consultants by teaching them the 8 steps to sales success. All right. Tap in ineedsalessupport.com for more live trainings, for weekly workshops.